Hello, smart viewers. Welcome to Face with me, William. And as usual, I'm going to discuss about variously interesting topics in each episode. And for this episode, it's going to be interesting also. We're going to talk about countries and how to represent your country and maybe other countries and related to their topics and about struggles and also about national security also. Yeah. So but before that, for this segment, I'm going to give our 3 best countries in the world according to global marketing communications company Y&R's brand strategy firm BAV Group and the Wharton School of the University of Pennsylvania. So the number 3 is Germany. Germany is ranked number 3 because performing best in entrepreneurship and power. The country's leader, Chancellor Angela Merkel, has one of the highest global approval ratings among prominent global leaders. So the number 2, guess what? The number 2 is Canada. So Canada is the second largest country in the world in terms of land mass. Canada ranks number 2. It takes the top spot in quality of life and number 2 in terms of the best countries to headquarter a corporation. Here's about number 1. Number 1 is Switzerland. For the second year in a row, Switzerland is considered the number 1 best country. The country well known for its history of neutrality and also Switzerland ranks number 2 in citizenship and number 2 in open for business. So those are 3 best countries in the world. In the next segment, I'm going to invite my special guest today from BINUS, International Relations Dialectic Society, and she's going to talk about, how to represent a country and deals with their problems. So curious about that? I'll see you later in the next segment of Face to Face. Hello, smart viewers. Welcome back to Face with me, William. And as I promised on the previous segment, I'm going to invite my special guest for today's episode. And he's currently the General Secretary of BINUS International Relations Dialectic Society. So hello to Florian.
Hi,
hello,
William. Thank you very much. This is a very honor for me. I've been inviting from the BINUS TV for be a guest and speaker in here. Basically, it's a very pleasure. Thank you very much for the committee and for you inviting from promise for the viewer. How can be inviting me in here from talk about what is the BINUS International Relations Dialectic Society itself.
Maybe you can share your latest or recent activities related to BIRDS, International Relations Dialectic Society.
So sure. The recent activity, I'm also involved in couple competition, such in national or international. I went to Philippines, I went to Thailand, I went to Korea for having fun in there, because in here we believe the international relations. They also like to do a debate speech or also the simulations of the United Nations itself, like we call it as the model United Nations.
Oh yeah, so those are your recent activities.
Yeah, this is my recent activity. I'm like to enjoying how to participate in model United Nations, because it's a part of myself as like behalf. So I like to enjoy in how to compete with another university, other university, and so it's having fun in there. So can be and have some networking with other friends.
Yeah, you can meet a lot of friends. Yeah.
Sure.
And we can share a little bit about what are the activities of the Dialectic Society and what is their main focus.
In BIRDS itself, we also call as the Dialectic Society. Why we call as the Dialectic Society? Because in here we depart as the family of the international relations. We also have the main focus we create some good maintenance, how to develop our new member, like for the BINUSians, the new freshmen here. We like to share this, how can we provide the good thing, the intelligence, how we can provide the tips and tricks for create such beautiful things they can get and more valuable to change us as their leader. So in main focus, we also learned about model-united nations, such the chamber. We talk about the chamber. We talk about how you can maintain your enemy as the delegates, how you can represent your country, such as Indonesia, or you can be in the United States, who has the more powerful and stronger power in international community. So basically, we talk about how to maintain how you can be a good leader for the future. How can be you create such a memorable value to have friends, so you can step it out the enemy and change to become your friends. Basically, especially for diplomacy, is the part of ourselves, because the diplomacy is the more things we learn in the dialectic society in birth itself.
Oh yeah, and maybe you can share about how you got to the dialectic society, how you got interested in that.
So first of all, I like to speak about English. I learned English since in elementary school. I practice every day to become the good leader and a good speaker in front of the mirror. So when I came to BINUS, when I became the freshman in here, they called me, Flo, come on, we need you to help us in the BINUS itself. So for international relations, we have a lot of the problem. We lack of the member for compete in the national or international regions. So when I'm stepped inside the birds, I feel like it is not my home, the second home in Jakarta itself, because in here, like the more of people in birds. So basically, for the legions, we call as the legions our senior, who has the pace and graduate from the last year. There has the more intelligence from us. So I keep learning and being patient. How can manage my grammar? How can manage a lot of vocabulary? I learned all of those things, so it could be provide me how it can be like now the recently. So I being patient, so I not being nervous if I compete, because in here, if you nervous in front of all the people, you will not see what supposed inside of yourself. If you're being strong, you're do something more valuable, the critical thinking, you learn and practice every day in front of the mirror, and when the people say you're crazy, it is okay. It is the advice for me. Because in here, if you're not sharing the moment, if you're not create a good thing to become the valuable things for you, you can receive what you want for the future itself.
Oh yeah, and also maybe you can share about kind of like some of the latest achievements from birds. Yeah, as you mentioned before, you got like a lot of experience meeting new friends, and also practice about diplomacy. Maybe you can share about the recent achievement.
Not for selfish viewer. I had a lot of the achievements from the national or the international itself. So for the first of things, I would like to introduce you for those things I achieved in international regions, from the Korean, from the Philippines, and from the Thailand. I've been in compete a lot of the international and have a lot of friends in there. For the Philippines, I got a first rank. Like they also call as the best delegate. Yeah, you be the best in front of all of the delegates, because you are showing who you are. You represents as well as the stances like your country. You provide the material. You have diplomacy in yourself. When people or when the delegates have the problems, you can be the third persons in the middle. So you can be a person who stop the competitions or the fighting, because in here the multi-unit nations as well as the competitions. But for me, it's more like diplomacy. Yeah, because you must be a diplomat. You must see in how diplomat work itself. You must be the third persons who like to share the material, who like to knowing each other and making all the people's knowing you betterly.
Oh yeah, so the conversation is getting more interesting. We're gonna have to take a little break, so stay tuned on Face to Face. Hello, smart viewers. Welcome back to Face to Face. Still with me, William, and we're continuing our conversation with Florian as the current General Secretary of BINUS International Relations Dialectic Society. So we're currently discussing about, like your achievement and your experiences competing in national and also international competition, and you meet a lot of friends, and maybe you can share about your experience through some of the photos we got. So here are the photos we got. Yeah. We can share about this experience.
So this is my second time. I was involved in BINUS Moli United Nations. It's like for the national, because I met a lot of friends in there. So it means like I'm with my friends, double delegates in the chamber of the United Nations Security Council. We talk about the civil war. We talk about the refugee, like we've been discussing before. Because for me, United Nations Security Council is a very heavy topic for me. Why? Because in here we talk about how the people could be managed, how we can be standing in there. And I got Pakistan's, a small country in Asians, like it beside India. So we have India in the chamber. It means like I must be a diplomat in here. Yeah, that's a very, very tough enough, because in here when I got the honorable mentions. The honorable mentions means that the third positions, and I got the most outstanding for the second positions because of my idea how I can be a diplomat, so I can be achieving like that. Because in the chambers, and also like people also been compete in there, not like they using the idea for create some solving problem. So they using the idea for easily. Yeah, they will not offer them, but I become the third person, so I can offer a good idea and valuable for making some solving problem. So I got more we can create draft resolutions.
Oh yeah. So we got another photo. Maybe you can share about this experience.
Yeah. It was in Mustopo Model United Nations 2017.
Oh yeah.
So in here I become a leader of all the delegates in here. You can see it of the photos. I talk about the drugs in United Nations.
Drug trafficking.
Yeah, drugs trafficking and the terrorisms in the United Nations General Assembly. For me, it is a very easy topic, because we talk about the security. We talk also about the terrorism and drugs. So I can be a leader. I can offer something good to put in the draft resolutions, because for me it is more good if you become the leader and you can hear a lot of the solutions of the part of your member. Because in here you become the diplomat persons, you must be looking forward for the solutions from the other people.
So like collecting ideas.
Yes,
like
of course.
And another photo.
It is the family of the international relations. So I'm back there using the white shirt.
So the whole current members.
Yeah, the whole current members. So it is separate between the birds and the HIMHI, Himpunan Mahasiswa of Hubungan International
Associations.
Yeah, student associations. So we make some like the promotions in Expo. We did some promotions in Expo. Yeah, we offer something good like birds, and the student association like HIMHI. We put in more things like you should join with us. When you join with us, you can achieve a lot of the achievements, because in here, when you spend all of the money, BINUS will pay you back, because yeah, you know, that's like appreciation day, you will get the money. If you pay 1 million, you can be at 3 million.
Yeah. Okay, the next photo. Maybe you can share about this photo.
Yeah, this is Joint Staten Forum. I become a guest speaker in Presidential Palace. I represent BINUS and the couple of other university of the national from Indonesia. We talk about the maritime, and I stand behalf of the BINUS and the other university for do a presentations in front of the secretary, the right hand of the President Jokowi.
Oh, yeah, it's quite.
Yeah, so I become the guest speaker there. So yeah, we promote all idea from the students associations. We collect on all informations when we promote to the secretary of the Joko Widodo.
Oh, and the next one?
Oh, it must be the last year for me in the Fastman in Surabaya.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it is the 5th time I compete in United Nations Security Council. We talk about the Qatar terrorism's involvement of the Qatar government. So I got a honorable mention in 3rd positions. So it must be good for me, because in here I met delegates from the Indonesia University of Indonesia, Diponegoro University, Gajah Mada. So it must be hard for me. So my partner, yeah, quite tough enough. Yeah. So my partner is from the University of Pelita Harapan. So we bring good news for our campus. So we bring the 3rd position. So we sharing all together, and we are having plan for be a double delegations for presents BINUS and UPH for the next year in Thailand or Philippines. For the next year, we will there for involve the couple of Model United Nations.
Oh, so looking forward to.
Yeah, we're looking forward to
another competitions related to Model United Nations. Yeah. From all your experience, you know, we can share what you like. What is the most important thing that you got? You know, like maybe diplomacy skills or negotiating or creating networks.
Yeah. For me, the experience is the first things that you should be enjoy in your life, because in here, be a diplomat, be a leader. If you talk about networking, if you talk about how to be in the drafting, how to be a good writer, you must be doing hard, and how be an effort for yourself, how you can learn. You must be training hardest, because when I'm training, and our people always say they feel like crazy persons, because he spoke with himself and not spoke with anyone around us.
I should practice your delivery.
Yeah, practice every day. It's daily conversations with myself in the motorcycle, in the roads when I'm walking with other people. I'm always interested in using English. For me, I've got the experience for being a diplomat, for be a leader among another persons from all of the university in Indonesia. For me, firstly, don't be selfish, because in here you need to improve yourself. If you be selfish, you're not you cannot fulfill yourself in the future. But if you improve yourself day by day and doing work out together, you listen about that advice from your parents, your friends, your close friends, or your girlfriends. You must be achieve that as the advisements that build you up, your strengthness for making forward and do whatever you want for achieve a good thing and positive things for make you better for the future itself.
So practice makes perfect.
Yeah,
and what are you looking forward to? To the future activities from birds, maybe their upcoming event, or maybe you want to create another Model United Nations here in BINUS.
My dream is I would like to create a BINUS Model United Nations.
Yeah.
So we are a success. We will establish the Model United Nations and hold in November, from the 1st until the 3rd November. For me, presently, I would like to win more awards. So I can, yeah, you know, if you win awards, you will think about, yeah, I will collect more money from the BINUS University because it is my goals. I would like to achieve more of the money from BINUS when I get an appreciation day, so I can buy something for my parents.
And also, you know, it's also enhance your skills, and it definitely gonna be beneficial in your, you know, later in the future in professional life. And also, you know, if you want to join, you know, like an embassy, try to represent a country, then, you know, you definitely got the skills for that. And so maybe you can share, you know, like some of the message to our smart viewers if they want to become a competitor in Model United Nations or later become a diplomat.
So smart viewer, some tips and tricks for me. Don't be worried about yourself. You must be and keep practicing. If you like to be a diplomat, if you like to be some persons who like to be involved in the international regions, you must be in practice hard. Because for me, English is not hardful. When you say about the grammar, when you say about the vocabulary, you still need to keep practicing, improve all by day. Because in sure, when you talk about the people would not listen about your grammar and your vocabulary. They will listen about your idea. You will listen about the critical thinking, which provided by yourself. Because in sure, for me, as a stroke I've been through enough, I'm not good enough about the English. I still improve my English grammar and vocabulary. When I'm doing something good for my parents, doing something good for my campus and my close friends and friends, I will doing hard practice every day and be in patience for passionate something for the future.
So practice and patience.
Passion.
And passion also, So thank you so much, Florian, for joining our show and share about your experience. We hope that, you know, smart viewers can gain some of the lessons you got there. So we've come to the end of the show, but be sure to check out another episode of Face to Face at the same day and time. Until then, I'm William, signing off. Bye-bye.
Bye.